Hi everyone, welcome to this midweek reading. Let's see what we have coming up. I know a lot of people have said that they're just so confused as to what is going on. Things aren't necessarily moving, but internally it feels like restlessness and this need to know what is coming next, because it's almost like something has been building up for quite a while, but it just hasn't materialized even yet, and there isn't necessarily clarity. So it's something like that. Let's see how we can get more clarity today for this midweek reading. Libra full moon is at the weekend. I'll do a reading for that again at the weekend. Oh gosh, a lot of cards flipped out. Yeah, I'll do a reading for that at the weekend, but for now, let's have a look. Four of Voices, which is Four of Swords, actually. You're burnt out. You're, like I was saying, like the restlessness, it's that. You're just wanting to relax. You're just wanting peaceful time to be able to gather your thoughts well. Some of you are so anxious that at night you are like glued to your phone because you don't anxiety is all-time high for some of you because you just don't know what's coming next, and it's almost like there's a lot of built-up energy inside, but it's just not coming out, like being directed into the right areas of life. Yeah, self-care is very much needed here, but not just self-care, also a lot of nature walks. You need a lot of nature walks. If your instrument, that is your body, is very much, this vessel which kind of requires fine-tuning. It is yours is probably fine-tuned if you're an intuitive like me. Like I said last time, I'm a Cancer rising. I'm highly intuitive, and any sort of like environmental disruption or a lot of noise, or when I know I'm not in my power, is when I feel it all. I feel too many things, and one of the things that can make that really hard to listen to your body and listen to your inner voice is just scrolling a lot, but that is fueled by the anxiety that you have of not knowing. So it's like a cycle, right? You can't stop it because the anxiety of not knowing is fueling the energy that you have inside of you that wants to go, but it's just like, but where do I go? What do I do next? It's that kind of thing. And I would really say this is actually very much a reminder to tell you, if you are a sensitive like me, you very much have, your body is very much, attuned to your surroundings. I think be really, really be mindful of the fact that you are different to others. You're not the same. So if you need processing time to really think about something, if you need to really protect yourself in certain situation, and when you feel it, you feel like, okay, that thing was not right, like, or whatever your initial thoughts were about someone, those were correct, that sort of thing, that whatever is coming up right now to really look at is something you can trust. You can really trust that. Your intuition is your biggest gift. If you are a highly sensitive person, not everyone is like you. A lot of people who are not an intuitive person, or we are all intuitive, but the fact that you feel it so strongly is that is one of your gifts. That is why you feel it so strongly. So when you feel like when you're surrounded by people who can't see how you can see, and how you can feel, you're different. That's what I would say. You're different than that. And it's very important to trust that. You can't, any uncomfortable feelings that you get, which your inner voice tells you, is actually really telling you that your inner voice is right. Okay, your intuition is guiding you, and it is telling you what is the truth, and if you're easily sort of trigger is not the right word, that would be something that requires healing. If you're easily stimulated, is what I mean, then you're kind of off, you know, your energy is all off, and your anxiety can really skyrocket. It will affect your sleep. It will affect your day-to-day, like, decision making. So it's very important to really surround yourself with right people. Really important. And sometimes it's like well-meaning people, and they might put you off the path because they have their own expectations and like things that they are living, and you know, yeah, then it sometimes makes it harder for you to hear yourself. If you're an intuitive, that's what I would say, that you require a lot more alone time. You require a lot more time to process things. A lot of you actually thrive in living alone, or you're going to have to live with someone who is like you, who's very much like you. That's pretty much, as bad as that may sound, not bad, but you know, you're just the way you are built is that you pick up on other people's energy, and sometimes you submerge in that energy that it's hard to tell what is yours and what isn't. So be very, very discerning about who you surround yourself with. Very discerning. What kind of people, spaces, environment is going to make a huge difference to your energy, the way you lead your life, and to be able to listen to your inner guidance very clearly is also going to require you to really set good boundaries. Very good boundaries. And the reason why you need to set good boundaries is because you are empathic. You know, whenever you meet someone, whose ever presence you come into, they immediately will tell you everything about their life, because you have a healing presence. You are a healer by nature. Most likely, if you're watching this, you have this healing presence. You are with someone, and yeah, you just find yourself being the caretaker, right? And that is a skill, not something to be given freely. That is a very valuable skill, very valuable skill. You can't just give that freely. And sometimes that may cloud your judgment, which is why it is so important that whenever you step out of your house, or you know, whenever you're going outside, you need to have a protection bubble around you, and you need to go out by stepping into your power. You can't go out in the world just being passive. What do I mean by that? Say you're like just really tired, and you're just like, okay, well, you know, just walking around in your thoughts, like deep in your thoughts, you know, you're not paying so much attention to your surroundings. That's not the best state for you to go out in. What is the best state for you to go out in is going for nature walks, but also being a bit more I don't want to say vigilant, but just more present. That's what I mean. You are more present with, you know, in nature, and that's where you are best, actually. That's where you'll thrive best. Maybe around water, you'll be able to hear yourself a lot more clearly. And who you choose as your life partner, your friendships, is massive, Who you choose as that, what kind of work you decide to do, which kind of environment you surround yourself with is massively important. Massively important. Yeah. I think that's something you're really going to have to be even more strict about with yourself, because you lose yourself. You have the biggest gift in this world of being an empath, which is quite an underrated quality, because you're able to pick up other people's emotions, how the room is that you enter, how other people are, very quickly. And yeah, and that means that for you, certain careers won't work, not because you can't do it, you know, not because you're not good at them or you can't do those things, but because you pick up on other people's energies, which drains you. And if something drains you, and something that, you know, you kind of get really overstimulated by, that's going to really impact how you show up in the world. Your energy management day to day is going to be quite hard to live in. Yeah, that's what I get here. So 4 of voices, 4 of swords. Remember, you are not the same as everyone else. You are different. The way you're made is different. And if you're an empath, healer, personality, that doesn't mean you can't have a normal job. You can, obviously, but it just means that you're gonna require a career or a job role which perhaps involves you working quite independently, but also if you are surrounded by a lot of people, you just need to feel like you are protected in some way. Like all of those people are also quite understanding, and you know, in a field where they're not cutthroat and just talking about, like, I don't know, random stuff. Like, that's what I'm getting here. That's what I'm getting here, to be honest. It's like very, very much just be aware of your instrument, how you are. You know, you might be a very sensitive person. And I don't mean that in a bad way, right? People always say like being sensitive is bad. No, there are a lot of intuitives out there in the world thriving, you know. Apparently, I mean, I can only talk about my rising sign, Cancer rising, and there's like, you know, Elon Musk is Cancer rising, apparently, Angelina Jolie, and all these people are thriving and successful in their career, but the way they show up is different, and the way they are, you know, by themselves is more like introverted. They are more introverted and finely tuned. They need to spend a lot of time alone. So, and we get Temperance here, which is the theme of this week, by the way, because we had the Libra full moon, which is all about balancing relationships. This week you're balancing a lot of relationships. You're kind of working out, hey, this isn't the best, this isn't working, I can't be with this. Like, you're kind of like sorting and sifting again this week, what isn't working and what is. And that exact process right now is helping you get to next week, which I'll do a reading for later. But astrologically and with my intuition, what is coming up is like big week is all I would say. And I know maybe I've said that quite a lot, but recently we're just having a lot of big weeks. What can I say? But it's about balance this week. Really, really note, after you spend time with certain people, you're really realizing whether that kind of relationship is working or not working. So be mindful of that. 8 of emotions, you're letting go of something. This is 8 of cups. Something perhaps happened around eclipse as well. Maybe you're letting go of that. Maybe eclipse was something... there's something that happened around the eclipse which made it very clear what you're meant to do next, or, you know, and then you kind of perhaps went back and forth, but you won't go back and forth anymore. So something that happened around eclipse is just still playing out, like the remnants of that eclipse that happened 2 weeks ago are still kind of like trickling and settling into your life. Then we do get Ace of Emotions, but it is reversed. So when it's upright, it's all about surrender. You're surrendering to this journey of your emotions. However, it is upside down. So that means you are not surrendering to this journey. You're quite anxious. If you're anxious, you're not in surrender mode. And trust me, I'm guilty of that. This advice right now is just as much for myself as it is for you guys. But this really is about surrendering to hearing the answers. You know, today I went for a walk after such a long time. Like, and I really, I've been so anxious lately. And I went for a walk, and it was like there was just out like pouring in of certain ideas, thoughts, and just quietening my mind. And that's exactly what you need. And that's when I got this idea of like, oh, it's time to film reading. You know, it's like I'm getting the downloads. You probably also have a gift like that, and you need to have a very introverted lifestyle. Yes, you can go out, obviously I'm not saying that, but it just means that your general main life point is, main lifestyle is going to be based more so on introversion. You're probably more likely wanting to work from home, or you can go into the office, but the environment needs to be very friendly to you, very friendly to how you are built. That's why a lot of intuitives thrive in their own businesses, thrive in their own independent work, not necessarily in they don't necessarily thrive in places where there's a lot of people around. And if you can work from home, that sort of thing is really beneficial. I'm somehow going on about work from home because a lot of you might be going through certain career changes. I'm not here to tell you what career path you should pick, but I'm just telling you, make sure that whatever you pick next is suited to your body, suited to how you are built, suited to how, because you have a lot of gifts and they don't necessarily fit into the normal working environment. And that's not the case for everyone. Some people are just much more, it's not resilience. It's because you are resilient. You're clearly very resilient, but it's just that they just have a bit more tolerance of their environment because they don't pick up on other people's energies as much as you do. Okay. Let's get a few more cards. What else is coming? What about love? I haven't done a love reading actually in quite a while. Let's see. What is happening in the field of love for a lot of you who are watching this reading? Let's see. Oh, the Chariot. An opportunity is coming. Oh, I love this. For some of you, an opportunity is coming soon. I love that I asked that direct question, but someone is going to reach out most likely. Yeah, someone is going to reach out. Someone is going to talk to you. And, oops. Okay, this one was the Hermit card. But it was kind of like slightly reversed, so I'm going to take it as reversed. Maybe you have been in the hermit mode quite a long, for a long time lately. Oh, okay, I noticed something. So you see the sun here, the rays are like coming out. But here, what we see is the person's solar plexus. The rays are coming out of the solar plexus here, but the sun was actually there. So you have been recharging for a long time. Or if you haven't recharged, you need to recharge because an opportunity is wanting to enter your life. Yeah, you need to recharge so that you can... Those sun rays that you have been gathering need to be open. Your solar plexus needs to allow you to shine so that you can be seen. You can be the sun so that you can be seen by the right person, the people, and you are in the right environment or places, you know, so that you are able to be seen and noticed for who you are, for who you truly are. Yeah, that's what I get. Let's get more information. Oh my god, wow. Okay, we did get the wheel, but it is upside down. Yeah, I think what it's indicating is there are two meanings that I get here. The wheel, which is here, but it's upside down. You're kind of off balance right now. You know, all these cycles that are happening, the moon cycles, it started off all with the eclipse. Since then, there are certain pieces that have been going around, which is of letting go. And there are certain things, since it's reversed, that, you know, wheels turning, your kind of next opportunity and things coming in the sector of love and relationships is not coming because perhaps you're holding on to something from the past still. Yeah, holding on to something from the past still. What is it exactly? Page of Inspiration, and it's reversed. Black cats, rainbows is what I get, but it's reversed. Page of Inspiration, which is Page of Wands, it's very much passionate, energetic energy. Yeah, it's because you are depleted for some reason. You are depleted. You need to be able to hear the answers very clearly. And next week is a big week, so allow yourself the time to really go into nature walks and really build up that sun energy in your belly. When was the last time that you knew with such clarity what decision you were meant to make? I remember that for me was like last year when I decided to move countries. I was alone for a week. I was living alone, and I was building up on my listening of the intuition. And that's when I knew my intuition is very strong, very strong. And the reason why I can say that with confidence is because there's been so many situations since then where I have listened to other people, and I have often been like, I've been at times not trusted myself, and when I have known exactly from day one what I was supposed to do. You know, I kind of knew beforehand, but the things, like, I still let it play out because it wasn't solidified, which is ultimately that I didn't feel like I was fully in my power to be able to call the shots at times, right, in the past. And now, once those scenarios have played out, sometimes we have to go through these contrasting experiences to be able to strengthen and come to this realization how powerful we truly are, and how we actually know the right things that we need to do. We are intuitively aware of what we need to do and what our next steps are meant to be. It's just that we listen to other people, we listen to, you know, other things, and then it derails us. And if you're especially a fine-tuned instrument, I keep saying this, you know, you're an intuitive, you are not really meant to listen to other people. You're meant to listen to the inner guidance. You're guided by something much bigger than you. All right, let's see what else is coming up. What about anything else in the love sector? Okay, no, nothing is coming out of tarot, so I'm switching decks. Going for this. Stargazer. I write at the bottom, set your sights higher. Yeah, set your sights higher. Yeah, it's really time to go inwards. Yeah, really time to go inwards, actually. There's something, again, wanting to be birthed through you. You need to listen to the answers very carefully. Even if you can take, like, literally an hour or so by yourself, go for a drive, nature walk. Something wants to come through you, what your next steps are, actually, and you listen to it carefully. Don't go out in the world by being passive. Heart Guardian, love and let yourself be loved. Okay, we were still talking about this love reading, and yeah, love and let yourself be loved. That's where your power lies. You have to step away from everyone else at this moment. At this moment, to be able to call in this opportunity of love that wants to enter your life. Maybe someone specific is going to reach out, and gosh, something just made my eyes like itchy. Someone wanting to reach out, or some certain people wanting to contact you. Maybe it's going to come through like a job opportunity or something like that, you know. So you need to be clear with that. Eagle, see from a higher perspective. Before you make any decisions, again, nature walks, you know, something you need to have a very clear head before you make any decisions right now. you need to go for walks, many walks. It doesn't matter what other people think. Maybe you need to take days off, a couple of days off, or a day off, or or even if like you're working somewhere, in lunchtime you can go out, or in the evenings just go out for walks. There's something that needs to come out, and it's very important for you to listen. That's the message I get. We're going to end it there because that's quite a strong message that's coming, that things need to be seen from a higher perspective and set your sights higher. Be really, really aware of what you are creating next. If you're wanting the big things, you have zero room to be able to let yourself be overstimulated with social media, be overstimulated with people. It doesn't matter what other people's expectations are, what they're wanting from you. What matters is how much are you protecting your energy, because that is the key here. If you're feeling stuck in your life right now, the answers are coming, but your anxiety is actually keeping the loop going, which needs to be broken. And the way to break that is nature walks, long drives, meditations. You can also do yoga. But I would say it involves something where you have to be alone. Most likely nature walks. Like, you can't be with other people because you're going to pick up on their energy. That's what I get. Or you need to be around people who are very much like you and are also fine-tuned like you are. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to end it there. That's what I get here. Those are the messages. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope that brings you some level of clarity. It is a time where you are making certain significant decisions in your life, and in order to make those decisions, you need to have a clear vessel, clear mind, clear body. So be very mindful of who you call into your life and who you surround yourself with. That's going to make a big difference right now. Okay, hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll see you in the next one.